What's happening, Rush people? We are, of course, live with NY Giants Rush, where we talk Giants football. Yes, 52 weeks of the year. Oh, God. Sometimes it's painful, but we still do it because we love the Giants. Thanks for tuning in. I see you guys are piling in the room. Yes, we're a little bit late. Listen, when you got a great show lined up, sometimes it's good to wait for the best things in life. So thanks for tuning in. I see you guys giving me crap already for being late. I apologize. Things happen. All right, people. But thanks for tuning in. I see you, Mark. I see you, Chris. I see you, Darius. I see you guys all popping in here. Got a great show for you, right? Of course, like I promised. Yes, he's a little bit late. I gave him a little crap. I wore Spartans just to give him a little bit of ribbing. He's a good dude. We got Giants linebacker Micah McFadden in the house, and of course, let me bring in the crew. I got Spartan Mike. Boom. What's up, Mike?
Greg, what's going on? Why are you bringing in all these Big Ten players that didn't go to Michigan State, man? It's driving me nuts.
Well, listen, one is a good player is a good player. We don't care where they play from. Two, once a Giant, always a Giant Spartan. You know that.
You know it, man. I got a Monty Toomer's jersey in my closet, and I got Mario Manningham's as well. You know, I forgive that stuff very quickly, but it's good.
Listen, and at the end of the day, Spartan, we can't help that the Spartans don't have a good recruiter. They might have just overlooked the man. We're going to find out in a second. So a
lot of schools overlooked the man, Craig. We got a lot of schools that overlooked the man. We'll go over that shortly here.
We definitely will. We will ask him. We'll have some fun. Let's bring in Nikki, and she's at camp, so she probably already interviewed him already.
What's up? No, not yet. Not yet.
All right. Well, let's bring him in because he's hanging out, and his internet's in and out. He's got like girls banging on his door, people trying to interview him. He's got dinner lined up. Let's bring him in, everybody. Let's bring in Micah McFadden. Micah, what's up?
Yay.
What up?
What's up?
What up, guys? Thank you so much for having me. Finally.
I apologize for stalking you, man. But look, we try to interview as many guys as we can. We had such a good time with Dane Belton a couple months ago. He's like, you got to interview my boy. And I was like, all right, let's make it happen. So thanks for hanging out with us.
No, I'm glad. Thank you.
All right. So let's start at the beginning because I always like to start off in the same spot, right? You grew up, in Tampa. You're a Florida guy, right? Or at least around Tampa.
Yep. Yep.
You have a kick-ass high school career. I'm looking at it here. 2017 FACA High School Player of the Year. Let's see. You can still hear us, right? You freeze up? No, he froze up. We're gonna have. Listen. I'm driving to East Rutherford, and we're getting the man some new internet.
Is it hotel Wi-Fi? Is that what it is?
I'm not sure. They probably all live in one big complex, right? So, let me tell them that. Is it better to tell? I'm going to tell them to jump out and come back in.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Try that.
Don't jump out and come back in. We're going to have to get him a signing bonus for better internet.
Yes.
I will tap on John Mayer's door and tell him that.
Yes.
Yeah,
seriously. Spartan, will you please? Thank you.
I'm gonna get right.
I mean, you're good, but you're tight with Eli now, right? So I think you've got the end.
Best friends. I got Eli's number. And it's like, yo, hook up the rest of the Giants with the solid Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Well, if it's hotel Wi-Fi, I get it. I hate when I'm traveling and I have to do a show from the hotel because the Wi-Fi is not that great.
What happened was he came on earlier and he was telling us that there's a storm going through right now, so it's affecting the connection a little bit.
Yeah. And by the way, it's not just a storm rolling in. It's been a storm rolling in for 4 weeks.
Yes. It's been
cyclone.
Yeah, it's just nonstop. Mike, I drove to Michigan this week to bring my daughter to school.
Thanks for stopping by.
Okay, by the way, you're in Chicago, not in Michigan.
Yeah, but it's kind of
Illinois-
like you're almost here. You're already at the point where like the gravity forces like should be pulling you this way, right? You cross that line. Well,
unless I get an invite, I'm not just stopping by.
all right, fair enough. And I didn't give you an invite, and I wasn't even on this week.
All right, so
Okay.
listen.
All right.
Thanks for all the work you're doing, brother.
We have moved locations.
Okay.
We should be better now.
Listen,
Right.
you know what? Here's the thing. If you're getting a storm rolling in, I was just saying why, it's been raining for a month. So I feel your pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And in Tampa, it's like so off and on. Like the mornings will be great, and then the afternoon, it just gets hectic out here.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, wait. So then that kind of leads me into like, I don't know if you heard me. You're a Tampa guy. Are you home now? Are you in Tampa now?
I am. Yeah. So camp report is the 25th. So I got a couple weeks here before I head back up. But yeah, I've been down here training and getting ready. I actually work out with Dane while he's down here too. So
Okay.
We got a good trainer and whatnot. So yeah, I've been down here.
All right. Well, I'm going to repeat just in case. So, look, you have a kick-ass high school career, right? I mean, I was just reading up 2017 FACA High School Player of the Year. Like now, college offers: Indiana, Boston College, UMass, South Dakota, Southern Miss, Toledo. Why did you? Now, again, one is, I mean, you had a great college career. Like, any reason why you thought maybe some of these other schools overlooked you? And then why did you settle in on Indiana? Because I mean, like Boston College is pretty big ball.
Yeah, there's a few reasons there. So when I first actually was playing varsity, varsity football in high school, my junior year was my first year playing varsity, and I actually played like D end edge rusher almost my whole junior year. So colleges didn't really see me as an inside linebacker until my senior year.
Okay.
But I got all of those offers, those 6 offers I got after my junior year. And then I committed before my senior year, before anybody had seen me play inside backer at, varsity level. And then, so, I mean, some schools might offer you after you commit, some schools don't, but a lot of schools kind of, they might not even waste their time trying to make you decommit and then commit to them. And then to the point of Boston College and some of those other schools. So I got an offer from Boston College. It's like the summer before my senior year. I'm kind of excited about it. Like I don't really have any connection like up north or anything, but
Sure.
Boston College, obviously they produce a lot of good linebackers. So I was about to take a visit there, and the day before, like I'm, planning this flight and everything, the coach that had recruited me calls me. He goes, "Hey man, we just had 4 linebackers commit in these past 2 weeks since we've offered you. We don't have a spot for you on our, to give you a scholarship."
Oh.
Yeah, he's like, "You can walk on if you want, but we don't really have a scholarship for you." So
Walk
that I know. I was like,
Oh
I was
wow.
like, forget it. Like that's over. Like so it kind of came down between Toledo and Indiana. I didn't really visit any of the other schools like UMass or any of those, but I had taken a visit to Toledo, met Coach Candle, saw the facility and everything. And yeah, but before my senior year, I chose Indiana.
Yeah.
Obviously, I played with the head coach's son in high school, Tom Allen. I played with his son Thomas at Plant, so there was a connection there. And yeah, so Thomas was the grade above me, and there were 2 other kids who played with me in my high school who also went to Indiana. So 3 guys in the grade above me who went there, and I took a visit. Really enjoyed the school. Obviously, I liked that it was on the it was in the Big Ten East, and we played all those big names like Michigan State, Penn State, and Ohio State. And
I appreciate you putting us in the same category as those guys, because trust me,
y'all are definitely a
category.
4th and a pretty far away 4th, but I'll put y'all in there.
All right. Fair
Oh
enough.
wow.
Micah, let me ask you this, because I mean, and listen, for those who don't watch college football, Indiana is not traditionally a powerhouse in the Big Ten, right? However, in 2020, and unfortunately it was a COVID year, you guys had an unbelievable year where you were beating all these teams. You beat Michigan, you beat Wisconsin, you beat Penn State. You guys had a dominant football team that year. What was it like kind of being a part of a program traditionally is not that good? I'm not, no offense, but then all of a sudden you guys have a fantastic team and really you had a chance to win the Big Ten against Ohio State, and that was tough that year. What was it like?
We beat Michigan State that year too, by the way. I think
you dominated.
Killing me.
No, it was a great year. Obviously it was COVID year, so a lot of people like try to hang that over our heads, like, oh, it was COVID, there were people sitting out and whatnot. But I mean, we had a great team that year, and we were kind of firing on all cylinders. And it kind of started with the Penn State game. We beat them the first game of the year, and that really grew our confidence into the rest of the games. And it was only an 8-game season, so obviously, you kind of got to start fast and finish fast. But yeah, I mean, overall, we had a great group of guys. A lot of guys actually from down here in Tampa, Florida, and just the Florida, state of Florida in general. But that was definitely a big year, not only for the guys on the team and getting NFL scouts looking at everybody and kind of putting us on the map a little bit. But yeah, I'm just I'm kind of hurt we didn't get to back it up my senior year with a good year too. But yeah, that was a huge year for us.
I mean, you had. I'm just looking at stats. I know stats aren't everything, but I mean, Indiana's most outstanding player in 2019. You were captain for 2 seasons, first team All-American. You led the Indiana in tackles for a loss 3 years in a row. That's stellar. You're playing in an enormous football conference. I mean, like when you get to Indiana, and I mean, you got 3 years of starting. Like, did you know NFL was there? Or were you just like, hey, man, I'm playing in the Big Ten, college football. This is it? Or was the goal always like the next level? I know sometimes you don't realize it to a certain point. Like, did you know? Or was that the goal?
I'll be honest. I mean, ever since I was like a little kid, I think every kid's dream who plays football is to play in that level. So I always wanted to do this. But to be honest, I mean, I was the 26th ranked recruit going to Indiana out of 26 kids, and like there wasn't much of an expectation for me, and I kind of like that. Like, you're going in, the coaches don't really know what to expect out of you. Right before my freshman training camp, the fall camp, the coach was like, hey, we hadn't even put on a pad, stepped on the field, we hadn't really done any of that. It was just summer workouts up until this point. And he was, the DC came up to me and was like, hey, you're going to redshirt this year. We don't really expect you to travel with the team and whatnot. And that was kind of like a shock to me, just because, we hadn't even played ball yet. So there wasn't really anything for him to go off of to give me that, answer. But about 2 weeks into fall camp, he's like, I think they started to notice some things, and they're like, you're battling for a traveling spot right now. Like, you have the potential to play and travel with us. And then by the end of training camp, he called me into the room and he was like, look, yeah, you're gonna play this year. You're gonna be on the team, and you're gonna travel every game. So that's kind of where it kind of was like, I'm playing as a freshman. Not a lot of guys get this opportunity in the first place. And it was obviously like I came from being a redshirting a month ago to having this opportunity to actually play. So it was definitely a big surprise for a little bit, but for them, but not really for me. I knew my talent once I stepped on the field and started playing with all these guys at the college level. So
awesome. Love that story. Go ahead, Nikki, jump in. I know you got some stuff.
Yeah, I feel like just kind of reading your earlier interviews and stuff like that, I feel like a common theme for you is that you felt overlooked. Is that fair to say? And do you still feel like that? Like, did that give you like an edge as you were getting ready for like pro day and combine and draft? And that kind of have a chip on your shoulder? And do you still carry that with you even now that you're in the NFL?
No doubt. I think like once you get doubted that much, it kind of is just, like you said, it builds that chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
And regardless of where you are, what environment you're in, you feel that, you feel that a little bit of doubt that people have towards you. But it's always kind of driven me to even work harder and prove people wrong. And I think Edelman, he used to always say, you either prove people right or you prove them wrong, talking about all those scouts and all the people who grade, you coming out of the draft and whatnot. So I think I think it's cool when people doubt me. I think it's, it's exciting. It makes it, I really enjoy it actually, because I get to prove somebody wrong.
Yes, real quick, Michael, let me ask you this. I just want to know, I mean, while you were at Indiana, was there anything that you did, like, game-wise, is there anything that you focused on improving that kind of got you to that next level of being a pro? I mean, like you said, you were talented and overlooked. I was just curious if there was anything that, coach said, hey, if you really focus on this, your angles, whatever it is, that'll really get you to the next level. I'm just curious if you had any of that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you look at my stats, I was primarily a blitzer in college. I didn't play too much coverage and I wasn't getting back. I was attacking the line of scrimmage downhill, playing off the edge or blitzing the A or B gap. So that was something like I really honed in college and really learned how to, beat offensive linemen, beat running backs, and working pass rush moves all the time. And that. But another thing, like you just said, angles is a huge part of the game, and that translates right over into NFL. These guys are so fast nowadays. If you try to take an angle up the field, these guys are just going to cut back, and you'll be a mile off. So that's definitely something that's pretty huge nowadays, just with the speed of the game, and obviously you just gotta you gotta kind of have some intangibles that come with that. I was lucky enough to gain probably 10 or 15 pounds while I was in college and get up to that 230 weight by the time I was a junior and really be able to, have my weight have my feet underneath me and be able to strike dudes. So I think all those things really helped me.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't look so good when I put on 10 pounds, but I don't think you and I were on the same boat.
Yeah, I was going to say
different, Spartan, a little bit.
And I was thinking before, I was like, yeah, I remember that dream of wanting to play in the NFL, and I washed out at the D3 level, so my dream went away real fast. So, well, look, this is always interests me because, like I said, we interviewed a lot of dudes, and it's interesting because New York isn't like any other place, and every time we interview, whether it's in your draft class, like when we interviewed like Bellinger and we interviewed like Hodgins, and we always interview these really talented cats that have no idea what New York is like. Mm-hmm. And so my question is, you're an East Coast guy. Like, have you been to New York before? Because there's some people that literally, I tell this story all the time. It's one of my favorite stories when like Dominic Hickson was a wide receiver for the Giants back in the early 2000s, and he had never left Ohio, right? So like when he had a little puddle jumper and he got into Newark Airport, he was like, "Take me to New York," and the cabbie was like, "Whoa, slow your roll, buddy." He's like, "The Giants play in New Jersey and East Rutherford." He's like, "They do?" Like, he had no idea. Or when you're driving down the Turnpike and you see the skyline, it's intimidating. So, had you been in New York before?
I have. I went when I was, I hardly remember the trip. I was probably like 8 or 10 years old, but my dad actually went to Columbia Med School in New York, and he lived up there for 7 years. So
wow.
He loves New York, and he always says, like, if he would have found somebody who, was from up there and married them, he probably would have stayed up there. But my mom ended up being from the South, so he stayed and moved down to Florida. But I kind of knew a little bit about it. I did not know that the Giants played in New Jersey. That was kind of new to me once I looked everything up once I got drafted, but that was kind of different for sure. And I just don't think I realized how, close the city is to, New Jersey. I don't think I realized that. So
yeah, I'm sure if you stand on your roof, you can see it from where you're at.
No, I can't. I'm not that close, man. Those are for some of the other guys.
Well, all in due time, man. All in due time. Yeah. So you find it intimidating because it's it's so daunting and large, or are you just like, it's another day at the office?
I think it's actually kind of nice because New York has so many Broadway stars, actors, people living there that are just famous for whatever reason. So, if you're out in New York City, it's not like you're playing at Indiana where everybody's going to notice you. So you kind of just blend in with the crowd in New York. I kind of like that aspect of it. Obviously, the media is huge in New York, and I think that's cool. I think having having a light on your face all the time is pretty cool, and being able to get your name out there and do different things. And obviously, guys do a bunch of things in business or real estate, or I know Justin Tuck, he went into the marketing and stuff like that, but. I think it's a pretty exciting place to play. And I think just the energy of the fans and the passion that they have, I think all of that's pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah. Cause sometimes you can, New York's not
Oh no.
Did we lose?
Oh, I love
Craig?
it.
Oh, did we lose Craig?
Oh, I thought it was me again.
What?
lost
Wait,
Craig.
wait, you lost me?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
lost
you.
you, Craig.
Yeah,
Figure it
What
out.
happened? I freeze up?
you did.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're good. You're good.
But maybe there's a storm rolling in outside my house. That or I'm in the same complex with Micah. All right. All right. This one I ask because it's something that's important to me as a kid, is numbers. I'm a numbers guy. I always ask about numbers because, depending on who you are, they're either that you identify with certain numbers, you market yourself with a certain number. You've wore 47. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, you wore 15 in high school for an injured teammate.
Correct. Yep.
And then you get to the Giants and they hand you 43. And then Beavers gets hurt and you switch to 41. So what the hell's going on, dude? Like, are you just going to keep changing numbers? What the heck's going on?
We'll see if I change again. But 41 was actually my freshman year of high school football. I played JV, and I was 41 my freshman year of high school football. And then I switched to 8 for whatever reason. My sophomore year, I was still playing JV, but I switched to 8. Probably just, I probably thought I'd never get a single digit ever again in my life. So, that was kind of the motive behind that. And then, yeah, once I got to varsity, I switched to 47. One of my favorite NFL players was John Lynch, the safety for the Bucks. Just growing up, I used to watch him. I really liked, his style of play. So that's kind of the motive behind switching to 47. And then once I got to the Giants, it was kind of, they gave me 43, and once I put it on, I was like, I don't know, it just doesn't really fit me. Like I didn't mind it. It's not that it was, but and then once Beavers hurt, he was like, dude, if you want this number, you can have it. Like, I don't have any connection with it. And I was like, why not? I think 41 is a really cool number. Obviously, I wore it before, so I made the switch. We'll see. I don't want to switch too much because people, friends and family start buying jerseys, and I don't want to make them, go through the process multiple times. But I'm sure it'll happen throughout my career. So we'll see.
All right, I was just checking because, I'm like, this cat wears a lot of numbers, and then I was watching some tape of you just wrecking dudes in high school, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm like, he's wearing 15. I'm confused. I'm like,
Yeah. So one of my best friends actually, he tore his ACL the week before our start of our senior year, and he was our running back, like captain, all that, and he tore his ACL. He had probably about 25 offers, and all that went out the window with that injury. And he's still one of my best friends to this day. But yeah, I wore 15 for him when I was playing in high school.
Oh, very cool. All right, good. Spartan, you can jump in. I'm sure you got some stuff lined up.
Yeah, well, I guess the one question I had was, when you get drafted by the Giants, you're automatically plugged into Wink's system, right? Can you tell me, you've been in that system now for a while, and the defense is looking really phenomenal. And I think fans were a little bit worried last year because, Patrick Graham, who was the previous defensive coordinator, it was okay. I mean, we actually had a decent defense. We thought there'd be a regression, and that never happened. You guys played stellar last year. I mean, what do you think it is about his strategy that just clicks and you guys go out there and perform successfully?
Yeah. Obviously Wink's been in the game for so long. So just his understanding, of his own system and other opponents and offensive systems around the league. I think that's so important. We have some of the best coaches within that defensive staff that I've ever been with. Obviously it's the NFL, but these guys know how to break down film and break down teams. And I mean, I swear we have some of these guys beat before we play them just because we know them so well. And I think on top of that, I mean, he's old school. He's not afraid to, heat guys up when he needs to and blitz the house when it's necessary. So I think just his knowledge of the game and that old school thing where he's just like, screw it, we'll send in everybody on this one. And, we're not going to let this guy just sit back there and pat the ball and find his target. We're going to go get him. So I like that about him. Obviously, I blitzed a lot in college, like I said. So I think it's cool to play for a coach who's aggressive like that.
What's the one thing in your game that you want to improve in the most from last year to this year? He's already publicly giving you a huge compliment last month. which was awesome. You know, it was great to see him come out publicly and give you a great pat on the back and be like, yo, he's grinding, you know, because the fan base doesn't know you that well, and to have Wink, you know, just come right out and say, yeah, man, he's competing right now at a high level. What do you want to change about your game from last year? Because the game is faster. You're learning a lot. You're drinking from a fire hose. What do you want to change from last year to this year?
Yeah, I think a little bit of it is just, you know, like I said, I blitzed a lot in college. Obviously, they used me a lot doing that last year. But I've kind of just been playing backwards more and working on getting in my pass drop, setting up. You know, if I'm reading the eyes of the quarterback, or if I'm finding a route, you know, a route to my side of the field, and kind of getting my eyes there, and just being more comfortable doing that. That's something I've really been working on, and just trying to keep my feet underneath me in space. So that's probably the main thing. And then just on top of that, I would say, you know, just honing in everything in the defense. Obviously, after playing for a full season, I feel so much more comfortable than I did as a rookie, and trying to learn an NFL system. But now I really feel like I got a pretty good grasp on it, and now it's time to, you know, take it to the next level and start completely understanding, you know, the other teams and the opponent, you know, so I can get ready for game time. Love
it. Go ahead, Nikki.
All right. So last year I'm covering training camp there with you guys, right? And it was either Dax or Leo came to the podium, and I forget which reporter asked, and they said, what is your goal? And they said to make the playoffs. And everybody chuckled. I did not, because I just was like, this team is going to do something. And he said, no, that's the goal. And so everyone's laughing, right? And lo and behold, you guys, you know, you make the playoffs. So what was that experience like, especially as a rookie? Like, what was that prep like? And then, you know, you beat the Vikings, right? Then you have to go play the Eagles. And unfortunately, that didn't work out. So how do you kind of deal with all of that coming at you so fast and being so new to the game? What was that whole process like?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was pretty nice to be a rookie last year, because we hadn't seen anything prior to that, and we didn't know what the team was like and the coaching staff or any of that. We just knew what we had seen up until that point. But obviously, just seeing the way, you know, Coach Dabble approached the game and approached practice, and you know, how hard he was on us to get things going and to make sure everything's in line. And on top of that, Wink too, just you know, bringing the defense together and making sure everybody has each other's back and we're ready to go. But yeah, as a rookie, I mean, it's, you know, like I said, you hadn't really seen anything before. So it was kind of like, well, everybody looks pretty good here. Like, I haven't seen any other teams, and we haven't played anybody yet, but our team looks pretty good right now. I think we could actually do something. And then obviously we started hot. You know, we won, you know, however many games in a row, or, you know, whatever, 7-2, and did a great job starting the season off. But I think it was just exciting for us to be out there. You know, a lot of the rookies were just like, man, like, this is such a blessing that we've won this many games. And then obviously we get to the playoffs and win a playoff game. So it was just exciting. And obviously getting to play as much as I did, I think that was the coolest part about it.
Yeah. Especially, like you said, the fan base has been craving. Like, I mean, do you know, again, I know you're probably a football junkie through and through, but like, do you know this history of this franchise? Like, they are linebacker, like, you know how they always say Miami is tight end you, or there's, you know, like, the Giants are just known for linebackers, you know what I mean? And ferocious defense. You know, this fan base has been waiting for a smash mouth team to come around. So having you guys go to the playoffs, most of us, so I've got a team of six people on the team, and we all said, like, if they win 7 games, we are stoked. We're like 7 games and we're happy, because the fan base just hasn't had, you know, you win a couple Super Bowls and then they don't win and they go, with this big drought. You know, I can't speak for the entire fan base, but I'll tell you, like, it was just refreshing to see a lot of young guys start. Because what you probably don't know, and you shouldn't have to know, but in 2007, that draft class, and they went to the Super Bowl and won it, they all played. All 7 draft picks played and went to the Super Bowl. This year, there was a lot of similar, actually, the last 2 draft classes, right? Like, this draft class of 2022 and 21 and 22 are contributing. So the fan base is feeling very refreshed, so to speak, because they're not a lot of Band-Aids, basically. A lot of young guys coming in and contributing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I've actually started reading this book. One of my dad's patients actually gave me a book, but it's Sam Huff's autobiography, and and he kind of talks about how it was back then, and obviously practice and all that was way different, and contracts and everything. But he just talks about the fan base and how they were just so used to winning. Like, they were just such a good football team, and like you said, it was smash mouth football back in the day. So it's cool to see our team, make the strides we have obviously last year, and obviously we want to do the same things and more this year. But I think everybody's excited about it, and I think everybody in the locker room is really excited about it. And we want to keep this thing going for as long as possible.
What's it like with Okereke coming in? Like, they bring in Bobby, who you guys saw the last game of the season. You saw him. The dude, like, the Colts are not a great team right now, but he stands out. He's a sideline to sideline guy. It's a huge upgrade for your squad. He's known for his tackling skills and shutting down the run. How's that been so far, working with him?
It's been great, man. Bobby's a true talent. He's a true leader for our team. And I think it was a great get by us, and bringing him into our room and having somebody to kind of solidify, what we do in the linebacker room, but then kind of bring everybody else with him and teach the young guys, teach myself, and kind of just learn from him and bounce back things off of him. I think it's been great. He's obviously, like I said, he's a great gift for us. I think he'll be a great linebacker here for however long he's going to be here. But I'm really excited, and I just hope I can play alongside him as much as possible, because he's really fun to be out on the field with. He's always making plays, and obviously he's a smart guy, and he wants everything right and wants everybody lined up exactly where they should be. But I'm really excited to be out there on the field with him on Sundays for sure.
Awesome. I love it. That's going to rub off too, Blitz. That kind of stuff rubs off. One guy catches fire, other guys catches fire. So we were all excited, like I said, because we've needed more defensive help over the years. So it is exciting for him to come in, young guy, to help you guys. Go ahead, Spartan. You got something?
Yeah, Mike, I want to talk about your connection with Dane Belton. We had him on the show last year, and we asked him, who's he tightest with on the team, and he said it's you. And we're like, oh, really? And then he went to the whole Tampa connection. But talk about it. I mean, so you grew up with him. You both go to Big Ten schools. You end up on the same football team together at the NFL level. I mean, what is your friendship with Dane Belton like?
I'm assuming he makes the call, right? When you get there. I'm assuming Belton's either knocking on your door or he's calling you, right? Like, dude, we're playing.
You missed the freak. Oh, I thought you were gonna say you missed the freaking Giants Rush show. What are you doing, man?
Yeah, what are you doing? Eating dinner?
No, I meant when you got drafted, man.
Oh yeah, no. So actually, it's kind of crazy. Me and Dane always knew of each other, going through high school. I didn't really know him before high school. He actually played on a little league team out in Brandon, and I'm not sure if we played against each other when we were little league, but I think we did, because I recognized the team name, and he knows a bunch of guys that I know from little league too. But while we were in high school, obviously Dane's a grade below me, so he was always a grade behind me, and we never got to play Jesuit where he went, but our teams always used to play like probably 5 years before we got into high school. So we always, I didn't really know him specifically, but Giants or Jesuit and Plant would always kind of go back and forth, like, oh, we beat you, y'all aren't good. But while we were in high school, both of us actually had really good teams, and we made it pretty far in the playoffs, both of us throughout our career. And then obviously he goes to Iowa. He always tells me he was planning on going to Indiana. He was planning on taking a visit. I think it's all crap. I don't think he was ever going to come. But he went out to Iowa, and then my senior year, his junior year, we play each other the first game. I don't really want to talk about that because it didn't go our way, and it was a pretty bad showing by us. But
it happens,
it
happens.
It was a rough one for sure, but he actually got a pick in that game. So he always, he jokes to me about that. But our first time meeting each other was actually on the flight up to New York after the draft for OTAs as rookies, and they had us sitting right next to each other, so we were talking it up the whole time, and just because we hadn't really ever met in person, and talked about everything that college and high school and all that. So we kind of caught up, and then ever since, I mean, me and Dana have been real close this past year, just getting to know each other. I actually lived with him while I was up for these past 2 months up at OTAs when I was in New York. I stayed in his apartment. He has a little 2-bedroom up in Fort Lee, so I stayed with him. But I mean, we've grown really really close, and I've gotten him into golf, which I can probably say he's picking it up, and he's actually he's figuring it out. So that's something I'm kind of excited about, and he is too.
So you're a golfer?
Cool.
I golf a little bit. I wouldn't say I'm a golfer, but I do golf. I try to golf.
You're in Florida. You guys have golf courses in your backyards half the time.
Literally, yeah. We're getting out a lot while we're down here. So
but it's Mike, he also probably has alligators in his backyard too. Doesn't mean that he's into alligators. I mean, come on now.
You never know. If you want a quick dinner, might as well. But Mike, real quick, I didn't realize this, and I should have known this beforehand. I didn't realize you went to Plant High School. I knew about Plant High School football because they're a dominant program, right? I knew about them growing up in Pennsylvania. Like, I remember always hearing them on Max Preps and whatnot. That must have been awesome. You had a chance to play for those guys.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, we had one of the best high school coaches, in my opinion, of all time. His name's Coach Robert Weiner, and he's coached there. Well, he coached from 06, actually 05 until a few years after I left, so probably 18 or 19. But real dominant program. He won 4 state championships, went to 6. We went to 1 my junior year, and then went to state semis my senior year. But it was really cool. My brother actually played at Plant before I did. He was a receiver and went to Johns Hopkins. So I kind of, he was always somebody I competed with and really wanted to aspire to be like. And then obviously I got to play at Plant and do my thing too.
Time out. Wait, who went to Hopkins?
My older brother.
So wait, hang on, man. We got to slow the roll here a second. So are there like Dr. McFaddens in the family here? Because like you dropped a Hopkins reference and something before about your dad. Like, are you like the black sheep and you have a family?
I'll say I got none of the smarts in the family. It went to every other kid besides me. But it's funny. My brother did go to Johns Hopkins, but he majored in economics, and he actually works for a boutique investment bank in Chicago right now. And he actually lived in New York too for about 4 years. And he decided to move February of 2022, about a month or 2 months before I get drafted. So that was kind of funny, but he's a smart guy.
Well, what about Papa McFadden? You had a reference in there too. Is Dad a doctor?
He is. Yep, Dad's a doctor, but none of the kids wanted to go the medical route. So we're all kind of figuring out our, and my mom's a nurse too. So it's it's a medical family for sure.
So for one, if you get hurt, they patch you up. What kind of
all good if you get hurt, I guess.
Yeah, I'm like, are they in orthopedics? Because like you should just travel around with them.
Yeah, well, it was great because my dad was actually he was like the team doctor at Plant in high school, and it was crazy. Like nobody ever got a concussion for some reason. It was just get right back out there. You're good, It was great. So and he was always on the sideline, which was cool. But
they used to snap smelling salts under my nose when I played. That's how old I am.
Yeah. We just take those to run down on kickoff nowadays.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it just proves I'm just broken and old. That's all that proves. All right, Nikki, go ahead. You got something for me?
I want to jump into the chat here because they got a bunch of questions. Darius is asking, who do you model your game after?
Ooh, that's a pretty good question. Well, I know he's a safety, but I do model a little bit of my game after John Lynch, and kind of like we were talking about earlier, just the angles he took to the ball and obviously how he hits people and his tackling ability. Somebody, I try to aspire to be like, and I don't think there'll ever be another one like him, but Luke Kuechly is another one. He's one of my favorite to watch and just listen to, and his mind for the game is so cool, and the way he can call out plays and understand, an offensive tendencies. I'd say those two are pretty close. And then I like people like Fred Warner. I like, Darius Leonard, those type of guys, people who are just I mean, obviously they're just gifted athletes in the first place, but people who can make the plays sideline to sideline and you know, are true talent, true leader for the team. You know, those are some of the guys I really admire.
Another question in the chat. Do you have a favorite play that you've made in the NFL so far?
Oof. It would have been a pick that I dropped in the Texans game. It went right through my fingers, and then the receiver caught it.
I didn't say it, dude. I didn't bring it up.
It would have been that one, but I would probably say my first sack against Geno. That was pretty cool. Out in Seattle, and then yeah, that would probably be my favorite play. I don't know why. It was pretty cool.
You had a great year. I mean, I'm just like, I wanted to pull it back up so I can refresh and be like, you have 59 tackles. I mean, you've had, you got a game with 5 solo, 6 solo. I mean, you have 36 solo tackles, 59 total tackles. Like, not bad for a rookie, right? I mean, like you're going in the right direction. There's a lot to be proud of, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah. It was just, you know, really excited to play. And obviously, like we talked about before, you know, get to the playoffs. And unfortunately, I didn't get to be out there for those games. But, yeah, it was a really fun year. And I'm excited for this one.
Nikki, you want to do one more in the chat before I get the speed round and let him go on his way?
Yeah, let's see if we have anything else in the chat. Oh, well, we have a funny one. They want to know if you will help cure our run defensive woes.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I'm sure Bobby will come in and help with that too. But yeah, I think we'll get that figured out for sure this year.
Oh, we have another good question. What quarterback do you want to sack the most? And which QB do you want to intercept the most?
I'd probably say, all right. I'd probably give 3 quarterbacks just because they're some of the best. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow. For some reason, I just want to sack those guys. But Patrick Mahomes is probably number 1 on the list, without a doubt. He's just, you know, the plays he makes, it makes you want to, you know, it makes you want to hit him for sure because he's so good and
it's so aggravated.
Yeah, it literally it makes me mad just watching him.
Yeah.
And sorry, I didn't get the second half of that.
Which QB do you want to intercept the most?
Any.
Probably Aaron Rodgers.
Probably Aaron Rodgers.
You're gonna get that chance.
You're gonna get a chance.
Just because he throws. I mean, he's so dialed in all the time, and he throws the perfect ball. But I think it'd be so cool to pick off Aaron Rodgers. It would have been Tom Brady, obviously, with his recent departure. But yeah.
All right. Love it. All right, so we're going to play, and then I'll let you get out of here and go on your way. It's basically speed round, right? It's 10 quick questions. It's just for fun. Won't take too much. There's some trick ones in there maybe. Let's start off with number 1. One pregame ritual or superstition?
I put eye black on my face in the same way every game.
Same way every time?
Same way ever since high school. I've done it the exact same way. Is there a specific
like direction, or is it just like two?
I draw a little square. I draw a little square underneath my eye, and then I pull it down with my fingers.
All right. I wasn't going to say
it's probably a Ray Lewis
copycat,
but yeah, it's I don't know why. Ever since high school.
So Spartan, what makes that so funny is there's a picture of Micah on the sideline. He's got his hands, I think, in his shoulder pads like this, and he's got the pull down. And you know, Little Rush, we call my son Little Rush. He's 15, right?
Okay.
And he's a big lacrosse guy. I coach a lot of lacrosse, and he's like, Dad, you think I could do that McFadden thing? I go, you could try it until somebody tells you it's excessive. I never took a picture of it. But that's why I knew what it was called, the pull down, because he does it and then he does the. And
people always made fun of me, and I was like, man, I'm sticking with it. Like I gotta see this thing through.
And look where it led you. Look where you're at.
Right.
Yeah, not only is he hanging out with us, he's already influencing my kid already. All right.
Yeah.
Best experience in New York so far.
Ooh.
It doesn't have to be on the field. It could be off the field too.
Okay. I don't want to go like too out there, but some of the guys host a Halloween party every year, and it was a good time.
All right.
Oh, enough
we'll leave
said.
it at, yeah, we'll leave it at that. I'm
What
sure
was
you
your
are.
costume? Did you dress up?
It's probably not right for the occasion, but I wore like a priest costume, like the Pope or something.
It's all
Okay.
good.
Love it.
It's
There you go.
Halloween. Whatever.
So,
Yeah,
we know he's got a sense of humor, right?
it was funny. Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Marvel or DC?
Marvel
Love it.
all the way.
All right. 3 artists on rotation in your pregame or your workout playlist.
Pre-game or workout, I gotta go Drake. I'm a Gunna guy. I like Gunna. I don't know if you guys know any of these names.
Yeah.
It's
You know
Yeah,
Drake.
come on now.
Yeah, listen,
then-
I keep young people around me because, like I said, old and broken
young.
doesn't know, but they
Okay.
know, so we're good.
Okay, and then probably Little Baby would be the last one. Pretty mainstream, but they get me going for sure.
All right.
Whatever works.
Yeah, right. Oh,
Well, it's actually hard to play music like even through the headphones because Sterling Shepard, he has like this big box speaker in the locker room, and he always has aux. So like it's pretty impossible to listen to your own music even if you tried. But
And
those
with-
are usually on the playlist.
Is that what
Great
happens when you're the
playlist.
resident senior in the locker room? It's like, guys, listen, I've been here longer than all of you. I am on aux. He just plugs in
Yeah.
the box and that's
Yeah.
it.
I'm sure he had it like as a rookie, probably like he's just done it for 8 years straight. But yeah, he's on, he's always on aux.
Spartan, he's not even healthy yet. He's not playing, and he's like, I don't give a damn. He's like, I'm
The whole
cranking this
time.
up.
Yeah. Oh, he gets us right. He's got a good little playlist. Sometimes I'll take out my headphones just to listen to see what he's got on.
Awesome. I love it. I love it, man. Shep's good people. All right. Name one offensive guy you need to have with you in a bar fight. I don't want you to get in a bar fight. I'm not even encouraging you to get in a bar fight. But if it happened, who's the teammate you need to have by your side?
One offensive guy. I'm going offensive line for sure. I would probably say Ben Bredesen.
Really?
That is so
Just
cool.
because I know he'd be there the whole time and he'd stick it out to the finish. I just know I can count on that guy for sure.
Dude, that is a classic answer right there. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love it. All right. If you weren't playing football, what would you be doing? I might almost say like you're gonna say you'd be a doctor, but since the whole family basically is a doctor.
No,
but,
all the kids went the other way, so maybe it's something else. We'll see.
People ask me that all the time, and I'm like, honestly, I have no idea what I would be doing right now. But I got a business management degree in college, so I have no. I mean, I still don't know what I would be doing with that. Maybe selling insurance or something. But I'd probably still be here in Florida, trying to golf every day, hanging out with my high school buddies, and just trying to make some money for myself. But yeah, I have no idea. This is like literally, it's been my goal and my dream and my
Sure.
since I was a kid. So.
you're still
Hey,
tight with all your
school business is pretty damn good, though. I mean, you got a nice consolation prize in case you didn't.
yeah,
That's right.
and you're still tight with all your boys back home.
Yeah, I got a good group of guys still down here that we get out there on the course or hit a workout if I'm just down in town for a weekend or whatnot. But yeah, good group of guys.
Do they get invited to the Halloween party?
I couldn't get them on the list this year.
Oh.
It's
All right.
it's tough. No, I'm kidding.
All right, I'm working for an invite the rest of this
All
year.
right. All right.
Xbox or PlayStation?
I got an Xbox.
All right.
Yep, for sure.
All right, this is my favorite question. This is number 8. We got 2 more, but this is my favorite question because this always gets guys thinking.
Mm-hmm.
If they made a movie about your life, who would play you?
Oof. Who would play me? I don't want to go like let me see. I think I'm just gonna go by a good actor that I like. In his prime, maybe like a Matt Damon or somebody like that,
I
I
can
think-
see it.
All right,
I think
I'll
I like
correct that.
him. I like him. Who's the guy from The Notebook?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Why am I?
Ryan Gosling? Yeah, okay.
Yes, I
can see
think
that.
he's a great guy.
All right.
These
I
guys
think
would have
I
to
like
live for like 2 years straight in order to play you in a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true. I'm just checking. It's always a question. I love what guys answer like that because like some guys
Yeah,
are like, oh, hey,
that's
it's got to
tough.
be this guy. Yeah.
That's tough.
And Nikki kind of stole my thunder on this one before, but would you rather a pick six or a sack fumble recovery?
No touchdown after the fumble recovery, right? Just a sack fumble recovery.
I can't give it to you all, man. I can't give you everything.
I know. You can't give me the Thibodeau.
Oh my God, they call it
probably
Thibodeau now. That's hysterical.
Probably a pick six. Just I think that like really changes games, and it'd be. I don't know if I'd look fast. I'd probably be worried about how fast I look, but I think it'd be pretty cool.
How fast you look? Come on.
That's important, dude. People might clown me in that film meeting the next day, man.
Oh my God, the dude gets a pick six, but he doesn't look fast enough,
bro.
Oh my God, that's hysterical.
Anything, man.
What's your 40? I'm sure you run like a 4.5, 4.6.
Something in that range. Yeah, I didn't get to run at the combine. So it's all speculation. You know, it's all hand timed. But it's probably somewhere in that range.
All right. Well, if anyone clowns you for a pick six, because I think I saw you have a pick six in high school, and I think that's where I got the question from.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get a pick six, you could say Santucci's got my back. I will make sure that no one's clowning you out here. Just for the record. All right. Whatever happens in the film room, I can't do anything about that. But out here, I got your back.
Bet. I appreciate it.
All right. This one's a little bit. This is the last one for speed round, and then
I got one if I can squeeze in real quick, Craig. And then
so do I.
Oh wait, you're going with like number 9A or 9B?
Yeah. Can I get 9A right here?
All right, fine. Break it up.
Do
your thing.
Thank you, Craig. Mike, you've been on the team for a year now, and this might be just slightly over the edge of what I can ask. But who do you hate more, the Cowboys or the Eagles?
Ooh.
Right now, it's the Eagles, just because we played them 3 times last year.
That is correct.
So, yeah,
McFadden is scoring points like crazy right now.
Yes.
I grew up in the Philly area, and it was. I mean, Craig's there too. It was brutal. I mean, even when we won the Super Bowls, it was like, God, the Eagles. Like it was a struggle back then. So I would love it.
Yeah, my family went to every one of those games, all the Eagles games this year. And just sitting in the crowd is a struggle. So
it is.
I don't really like this.
Yeah. They're the worst.
Tell your parents it's been like that for 50 years.
They can't complain about 1 year.
I hope you play your whole career here and tell them it doesn't get any better.
No, it doesn't. It's getting worse, actually.
So, all right, that was a good question though, because he said all the right things there. So McFadden scoring points across the fan base left and right. All right, you can buy, play for, or fold. Okay, like get rid of Orlando Magic, Tampa Bay Rays, Tampa Bay Lightning. One team you're going to buy, one team you're going to play for, one team you're going to fold.
All right, buying the Lightning immediately
because they win everything.
And the dude who owns it owns half of Tampa too, which is pretty cool. Vinnick or whatever his name is. I definitely want to play for you said the Bucks, right? That was the other team.
Nope. I didn't give you football.
Oh, you gave me Rays.
You're a football guy,
Rays.
so you can Magic or Rays.
I'd play for the Rays. They're a good baseball team too, so I'd like to play for them.
So you're folding the Orlando Magic, is what you're saying.
I think they're actually going to be pretty good in a couple of years, and they have some potential with some of the guys they've gotten out of the draft. But right now, I'm folding the Orlando Magic, and it's Orlando. Like I'm a Tampa guy, so.
Yeah. I was so glad, by the way, that you you played it long, because I was hoping you wouldn't go, oh, I root for the Bulls, and I root you had no skin in the game. So I'm glad you played along.
Right.
All right, I got one. One fun one. Do you eat wings?
I
Oh
do.
no,
Yes.
you're not going there, are you?
I am going there because for 3 years that I've been podcasting, I ask everybody that comes on for an interview, what do you dip your chicken wings in? Is it ranch, blue cheese, or other?
I'm a ranch guy. I've
Oh,
always been a ranch guy.
oh, man.
Is that the wrong answer? What
It
all
is.
blue cheese people?
No,
You
it's
got the
not that,
Eagles right.
it's not that it's the wrong answer. It's like for some reason over the last, I don't know, Nikki, what, 6 months?
Yeah.
The last 6 months, everyone is saying ranch. And like our whole lives, it's always been blue
And
cheese.
blue
And
cheese.
now
You
like there's
put
some
ranch
kind of
on your
ranch thing
pizza
happening.
too? You don't put ranch on pizza, do you?
I dip my pizza in ranch as well. Yeah.
What
Ranch
is
is-
happening?
Here,
It's-
up
it's a
here,
different
New York, New
generation, I
Jersey?
guess.
Oh,
Like, I
no.
will
Yeah.
defend you. I do the same thing. It is
My
good
guy.
to dip pizza in ranch dressing. would
No, I
give
don't
you-
mind blue cheese. It's not like I can't stand it. I don't like hate it.
Okay.
Like I know a lot of people who like absolutely can't stand blue cheese. I don't mind it. I can deal with it, but I'm a ranch guy for sure.
Okay. All right,
If they
Dad.
ask me,
there
if they
you go.
ask me, I
Team
say
ranch.
We're gonna have to find out who Mike is friends with and get another player on until we find someone who's on our blue cheese team. Because
I'll
like
be asking around the locker room until I find
Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
at training camp. Can you
exactly.
just find me and just let me know?
out.
killing me. Absolutely killing me. The guy says, don't backtrack. No, he's all in on ranch. He's all in.
Go in. It's Team Ranch.
Well, one,
I am all in.
thanks for, again, Mondays. We're here every Monday. Next week, we've got Ryan Dunleavy from the Post coming on. And we're going to ask Ryan if he uses blue cheese or dips in ranch or if he dips his pizza. Because the whole thing is just incredibly weird because it came out of nowhere. But thanks for watching another episode of Giants Rush. That's Micah McFadden. How about last thing before I let everybody go? Anything you got to promote you want us to get behind? Like you doing any charity work? You doing anything back at home in Tampa? Anything at all? Hey, if you don't, cool. But if you got anything that you want us to, let everybody know, this will be up on YouTube and Spotify. And, we always like to let guys promote their stuff. So anything that you're doing that you want people to know about?
I haven't gotten anything going yet. Me and Dane, it's all still in the works and we haven't really solidified anything yet. But me and Dane are trying to get a camp going on down here in Tampa, maybe next summer. So we're going to figure that out. But I'll let you know. Maybe next time I'm on the podcast, I'll let you know.
Okay.
We'll have that.
Can
we'll
we
have that in
come?
place. Oh, y'all can be there for sure. Yeah,
All
y'all got to
right.
be there. Since
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like we did stream live from Nick Gates and Isaiah Hodgins camp, and then we're trying to get a couple more guys, and we ran out of time. So yeah, heck, the only reason why I asked is because they're going to ask me, hey, can we fly to Tampa? And then I'm writing checks for these guys to fly to Tampa.
All right.
So
No, for sure. Yeah.
All right, well, one, thanks for hanging out with us. I told you, we always have some fun. Appreciate everybody. I mean, there's a ton of you in here asking all sorts of crazy questions. Give tight ends and QBs hell. Thanks, Mike. Everybody's super psyched that you came on. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm sure you got plenty of better things to do, and I got to give a shout out to Dane's dad, Dan Belton, bang, for making us the connection. So the Beltons are good people. Now the McFaddens are good people. So we appreciate you hanging out with us.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. I'm sorry it took so long. I appreciate it.
man.
Thank
Look,
you guys.
You're here.
No,
guys.
you're here. We're good. You need anything else from us at all? And text me an address. I'll send you some swag. I got some really cool hoodies that I'll send your way.
As long as it's not Michigan State.
No.
Spartan's not in charge of that. You're good.
Yeah, no, it'll have all our we got the skull with the headphones on. It'll be all our logo.
Okay, perfect. I appreciate it. Thank you guys again.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks.
Talk to you
Thank you.
soon. Night,
All right.
everybody. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you guys next Monday. Ryan Dunleavy. Peace out.